Hello, hello, everybody, and happy Tuesday. So, one of the things I've kind of been talking about is how I wanted kind of a weekly schedule, or at least a rough weekly schedule. I've talked about how the overarching schedule of this game is going to be a system of like checkpoints and stabilization phases. But within the bulk of a checkpoint, I was thinking like Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be coding, and Tuesday would be polish, and Thursday would be music. And that way we're not saving all of this stuff toward the end of the cycle. However, today is not going to be a polish day because we've just started working on this game yesterday, the top-down shooter. So I don't even know if I'm going to stick to this weekly schedule, even if it were a normal week. So anyway, we'll have to see how it goes. Hey, Chili. Good morning. So yeah, where we left off yesterday was not a ton of progress. So wait a second, what happened here? I had asked. Hang on, something's wrong. Oh. Okay. Never mind. Yesterday, it's not worth explaining. Yeah, it's not worth explaining. Hey, Leo. All right, well, I will finish what I started to say at least, which is what I had gotten done with. So all we have is this. It's not a lot. We don't have any actual shooting yet. You can just walk and you can point your gun at stuff, and that's it. And this is not too crazy if you just look at this part. But what I think it looks a little bit better at least is that we made some animation tooling to make it easier to go add other animations in the future. Also, I'm realizing now that we probably cannot speed up these animations too much because it's also your walking speed. Anyway, let's see what's on the schedule for today. So add in shooting the gun. We probably need a tool to create animations more easily since it's a pain right now. Yeah, so this is done. Bullets should either be for you or your enemies. If they're yours, they collide with terrain and monsters. Okay, so we don't have bullet graphics unless we use these. I think these look pretty good. Yeah, and I sort of like the idea of you eventually getting some of these like cooler looking bullets here. But to start with, it'll probably be one of the ones in the top row, maybe like one of these four or one of these four. Just something small to indicate that like something's being shot out of your gun. And this color seems like it's probably pretty good, although they have a bunch of different colors too. And in a lot of games, especially older games, to make your bullets visible or to make enemy bullets visible, you pick these like super bright colors that are not realistic for bullets, but that way you can at least tell like, oh, red is bad and green is mine. Hey Matt, hey Goose. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you're all doing well. Oh, wait a second. I understand now. I didn't realize these are not individual bullets. They are animations for bullets. So I should be looking at this. All right, well, let's change this thing slightly. I think maybe this one is best at the bottom here. Or maybe this one. Or maybe this one. I'm not sure. But yeah, one of the small ones. Because this is just supposed to be like a regular gun at first. Hey, Rahini. I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Yeah, let's download this pack. I am just going to download it for now. If we end up using this at the end, I'll pay for this. What is the difference here? New all fire bullet pixel and all fire bullet pixel. Okay, let's download the new one because it's a year older. Or a year newer, sorry. Oh, right, you can't do that. All right, copy cdo tar-xvf. What happened here? Whoops. What did happen here? Whoops. List, extract. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I haven't seen this before. Oh, I'm sick. Get to be here for a bit. Oh, I see. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that you're sick, but nice to see you. Hey, Stats. Good to see you too. Yeah, I haven't seen this before. Tar-XF is printing usage. Huh. I've just always remembered this as the command. I just never needed to do anything else. All right, let's look at the manual for this. X is extract to disk. If a file name with the same name appears more than once in the archive, each copy will be extracted. And out of curiosity, what does -F do? The file. Read the archive from or write the archive to the specified file. And V is presumably verbose. Yes. Can you specify the output? What am I missing here? Huh. And I haven't this is the tar that I know and love, right? Yeah. Wow, weird. All right. I don't know. I'm just gonna go ask AI for this. When I try running tar on a RAR file, it only prints the usage for some reason. And what's weird is in my history, I have the last time I ran this on the other, on the other RAR files. Oh, uses the wrong dash? Oh my God, how did that happen? Okay, well now, wow. This is where AI is fantastic. I cannot believe that. I don't even know how that happened. I got a different kind of dash here, so I wasn't interpreting this correctly. And to me, it looks the exact same. I mean, it didn't highlight it, and I didn't realize that. But wow, yeah, that's that's something. All right, well, let me go look at my Z shell notes now. Wow, I I can't believe that. All right, history -D and then a number. So you don't need to dash at all for a yeah. I mean, whether or not you need it, like I've always used it, and I just had the wrong one. But it's good to know. And thanks. And hey, Smurf. Okay, so these ones here. So 5659. We got to go delete. I want to make sure we don't have any other. I don't even know how I typed that though. Apparently like that. So 5659, 5660.
Whoops.
Yeah, so the next two. All right, so now my history. Hi, hey Abby. Hello, cat. Do you want to sit down? Yeah. Good cat. Here, move your tail around the microphone. There. Come sit down. Okay. So as long as we don't have that in the history anymore, I think we're good. I can't really tell. It looks like it is still there. Maybe I should do this. No, yeah, it looks like it didn't delete anything. All right, give me a sec. This is not supposed to be the difficult part of today. Let me do this. No, it was deleted correctly. All right, kitty spotted. Abby's a very good cat. All right, so we got the graphics. And they apparently extracted right to here, which I did not want. Fire, bullet, pixel. All right, which one has the graphic I want? Oh, they all have the graphic I want. We just need to pick a color. Since they're your bullets, I think probably on the slightly more like typical, maybe this, the yellow one. Yeah, I like this one. This is number 4. Okay, let's go take that one. Game, assets, sprites, objects, top-down shooter. Okay, cool. Now we're going to make a bullet scene. I do not have Godot open. this cat. Yeah, there are a lot of different things I wanted to do. I wanted to make some YouTube videos as well. And I was debating on streaming tonight to start writing some of the presentation materials for that. But I don't know if streaming in the evening is a good idea. It probably isn't. I'll probably burn out tomorrow if I do that. So I don't know. I got to figure these things out. All right, so this is going to be probably just a rigid body. And we apply some impulse, and when it hits something, we're done. I guess let's start with that and then see how it feels afterward. So yeah, rigid body 2D. Call this bullet. We will attach a script. Subgame, top-down shooter, bullet. Create. Okay, great. Then I want to give it the sprite. It's actually an animated sprite. And we need a collision shape. The animated sprite is going to load in everything from that bullet graphic. Objects, top-down shooter. All right, how do you suppose we do this? Do you have any instructions? 16 by 16. Okay, so let's try that. Hey, that worked perfectly. Great. All right, which one did I say I liked? I think this one at the bottom. Not even sure it really benefits from animation. Alternatively, we can go with one of these circular ones. So it doesn't look like it's, well, I don't know. None of these look realistic, of course. They're probably going to be shooting pretty fast. Yeah, let's start with that one at the bottom. Is it in the bottom of this graphic too? I think it's this. No, it's not that. The GIFs might be from the old version of the graphic. Or I might just be blind. No, I think it's this. Okay, let's take that. So add 4 frames. So this is... Let's close out. Oh, you can't close this tab? There we go. All right, texture nearest. There we go. Let's hit play. Let's hit autoplay. And probably make this like 15 FPS. It looks kind of silly. I want to pick a different one eventually. All right, scene, subgame, top-down shooter, bullet. Now for our collision shape, add a circle that is very tiny. And then set its collision to be, so it's got to collide with the world and the, not the player, the world and enemies. We have door activator, door, game specific 2, layer 7, layer 8. All right, well, world and character are fine. Maybe we should put in like an enemy layer. I mean, game specific could be okay. Layer 2D physics. Here we go. Yeah, so maybe I put like enemy here and maybe projectile. Yeah, these are common enough. We have a bunch until we run out of names, and we got to start repurposing them. So like door doesn't make sense for this game. Well, maybe it does. But yeah, then we can turn that into bullets. At which point we call it bullet/door. All right, so this is a bullet there, and it collides with enemies and the world. Easy peasy. Now we just gotta shoot them from the gun. So let's go into here. And in is attacking, I'm just gonna have it spawn bullets every once in a while. We'll have like a cooldown or something here. Private, double, shooting cooldown. Hey, DevZone, good morning. All right, so shooting cooldown. Now in physics process, we subtract this. And then if you are attacking, try shooting. Private void try shooting. So if this is greater than 0, then just return without doing anything. Otherwise, set it back to whatever the reset time is. Private double. This is like, Yeah, this is always, maybe call this like shooting cooldown reset. When 0, you can fire. Or you can shoot. The origin being off-center bugs me. Yeah, as long as it feels right, I think we're okay. So that's why I'm not going to do anything about it yet. Let's start with you shooting once per second. Or maybe just for the sake of testing, maybe faster. So like 0.5. So twice per second. All right, then we want to create a bullet. So instantiate. Should probably make a shortcut for this. This should also be in the resource cache. All right, so our scene is top-down shooter / bullet. And we instantiate this as a bullet. And we set... See those subpixel things everywhere? Yeah, hopefully this isn't a big problem. So the position is going to be our gun position. This is the first little issue that we have. Because depending on where we are in the animation, we need to set where the gun is. I mean, it's only got to be one of the shooting ones. So either shooting gun or walk shooting. But yeah, the point changes depending on where we are exactly. Now, there are a couple different ways we could do this. Well, how about this? Let's just start with the easiest thing. Just pick a position. So we'll just take the player's position. I'll say to do find muzzle position. And then we apply a force. Applies a position force to the body. There's also central force. What does that mean? Without affecting rotation. I don't want these to rotate, I guess. I also don't want gravity to affect them. Gravity probably currently affects them. Yeah, gravity scale is 0. Like, there probably shouldn't be any angular velocity. Anyway, apply impulse. This is what I want. All right, so vector 2 is the way that you're facing. And then we need an amount, right? Oh, no, the amount is inside the vector. So maybe facing direction times 5. Maybe normalize first. Okay, let's just try that. So now, depending on which way you're facing, it should shoot a bullet in that direction. And they'll never get deleted. So they'll just accumulate. I never added it to the scene. All right, so let's add it. We can't really add it to the player. It should get added to the world, the game itself. So like created bullet. Do we have access to the sub game? I mean, that'd be easiest, but we don't. So I'll just do this for now. Okay, public event action bullet. Created bullet. Cool. Now the top-down shooter, which doesn't have anything in it right now. I guess we don't even get access to the player yet. I just never had a reason to. Call this player. Top-down shooter player equals null. Good. And then we listen for its created bullet, or like on create bullet. And we add it to a node over here. Bullet node. They should show up on top of the player, which is why I positioned it there. Private node 2D bullet node. There we go. All right, it doesn't know about node 2D. So all we do is add this here. Okay, let's go try that. So again, it's just going to create bullets coming from the center of the player. It won't look good. But hopefully we see them shoot in direction. Yeah. So now we have to increase their speed by quite a lot. Where is that? Speed times 5. So at least 10 times faster. Probably 20 times faster. This means that they'd move at 100 pixels per second. I don't know what's too much here, so we're just going to pick some numbers and try it out. Yeah, so it should probably be more than that. Maybe like twice as fast, 2.5 times faster. And then I think it's a little bit strange. Hey, stop using AI. Welcome back. I think it's a little strange that they shoot at any direction, but you can only face 8 directions. Like, ignoring that they're just being spawned out of the middle of you. Also, that's pretty funny. Might even want to keep that in. Yeah. I guess using the D-pad, I can aim at only exactly the 8 directions. And that does look a little bit better, although the gun is not perfectly aligned to the axis anyway. If you take a look at this, like I'm moving up and to the right, the bullet is shooting like the wrong angle, but just barely. I know the position is also wrong, but also the angle looks wrong. It's not meant to be on the player center. No. I haven't written anything to change that yet. Also, I think the shooting amount needs to be a little bit faster, so maybe like that. All right, so problem, need to find the muzzle position. So there are a couple options here. Option 1 is call a function at various points in each animation that sets the muzzle position. And this would be good if the muzzle position doesn't really change. And option 2 is call a function at the beginning of each animation that sets the muzzle position. I guess we need to set it at the beginning no matter what. We would, yeah. Need to set this at the beginning regardless. Yeah, because the only thing that controls this is, where do we have this? Here. Yeah. So like here, for example, we want the bullet shooting out from here. And then as this moves, it's not moving by so much that it would probably be all that noticeable if we just kept it at the same position the whole time. But maybe other animations are not so nice about that. No, it only moves by like a pixel. Oh, you could just try it with a direction or two and see if it looks good. Yeah, let's maybe try that. Hey, Phil. All right, so we need a private vector to muzzle position. And that's where we're going to set this. Hey, Blub. And then a private void set muzzle position. Vector to position that just sets this. And then we just call that function from over here, but on every single animation track. So this is being kind of annoying. So like I said, let's just do this for a couple of these and see if it looks good. And then I can do it for all of them. So we're going to call this set muzzle position. Make sure this is at 0, 0. It is. Or at 0, excuse me. All right, so this is kind of annoying. We need a node 2D now to be able to figure out the position of this. And then we just move this to where the muzzle is. Actually, alternatively, could we do this through... We could just change the position. Okay, yeah, hang on. Maybe we could do it this way. Hey, Diginanigans. Yeah, let me try something. Let's do this. Let's set the node 2D position here. Is this any easier to work with? Can't I just click this? Yes, I can. Okay, that's probably better. Let's set muzzle position then. And then delete this function. This makes it a little bit better. All right, so where is this? This is a node 2D now. Muzzle. I mean, it is kind of muzzle position, maybe muzzle node. And then in ready, we'll go fetch that. It's called muzzle position in the thing. And then over here, we'll get the position of that. And that way, we can just have these things control it. So this should be set correctly. It looks like it is. Now let's go figure out, let's do maybe just all the left directions. Because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this yet if it's not going to look good. So we'll pick that one. So I've done left, I haven't done down. There we go. All right, then left up. and finally up. So it'll only work on the left half of the character. And there we go. Let's go try that now. Error. Oh, right, yeah. This isn't needed. Okay, I saw an error print out immediately. What was that? Node not found, muzzle position. Whoops. Problem solved. Let's go back in. All right, so this is not working now. All right, so it is creating bullets. It's just creating them at what looks like the global position. And then that needs to be the global position too. So yeah, like I said, if this looks good, then we can do this for all of them. What? Oh, right, I didn't do it for walking. Yeah. I probably should have done it for walking. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe we like fade them in. I don't think I like this idea. I think we need to snap to one of the 8 directions. And I really, really hope that the animations let me pick the same 8 directions. What I mean by that is if we go into this character, we have the attack animation here. So that angle, like if I draw a line here, so this is some angle, X degrees. And that's for whatever this was, shooting.png. So now we also have walk while shooting. And if that's not the exact same angle, then it's going to be really annoying. I think for their sake, they would have drawn them at the same angle. In fact, we could compare. Because like it just saves them time, right? What's going on here? There we go. All right, so then here's the other one. This is walk shooting. So are these any different in terms of angle? Oh, they look the same. I mean, maybe I could make this opaque or transparent. I mean, there we go. Let's do this. This is really hard to see. Yeah, I think they're the same. I don't think we have to worry about that then. So I think it'd be best to snap to one of those 8 directions. So now I got to write code to do that. Where's the impulse? Here it is. So facing direction. So we want to like snap this vector too. So 8 dir vector. Yeah. So let me think of how we would do this. We need to find the angle that we're closest to. Shouldn't we just be able to divide the angle by 45 and then multiply by 45 and just hang on. What I just said doesn't make any sense, but I mean, let me figure this out. So facing direction dot angle. So this is the angle from 0. So if we are at 90 degrees, which this is not how this works anyway, I'm going to do this in degrees, which is probably pointless, and I could just change this anyway, but radians to degrees. Yep, okay, great. So let's say we were at 90 degrees, or let's say we were at 91 degrees. We want to be at 90, so we do divide by 45. And now we'll have, yeah, we want to floor this. And then multiply that by 45. And then figure out a vector from this angle. Maybe edit around. Yes, it probably would be if we're, yeah, I agree with that. Thanks, Odysseus. All right, so how do you figure, oh, there we go. We do vector2 dot right, which is already normalized, dot rotated angle, and then take our 8 directional vector here. Whoop. Oh my God, I can't type. Okay, there. I think we're good, except for I messed up parentheses or something. Yeah. All right, let's try that. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, I don't think these are exactly 45 degrees apart. That's what it would be if you divided a circle by 8, but I don't think we can do that. So yeah, remember, I only got it working for the left side. Okay, what is going on there? All right, these are backwards or just not working. Like the angle on the right side looks fine. And then once we start going up, it doesn't look fine anymore. Let's put a breakpoint here and find out what angle it thinks it's shooting at. So if I just face upward, that was not up. Sorry, it's really hard to do this on this controller. Oh, it's like really hard. What is going on? Oh, we don't have an idle up animation. That's why. It's only when you're moving can you face up. Okay, well, I should be facing up right now. Yeah, the angle is -90. All right, the negative I didn't account for. Also, rotating should be by degrees, and I didn't account for that either. So float dot. How did that look good for the other ones then? Degrees. Yeah, there. And I think that should just change it on the fly for us. Yeah, it just rebuilt it, right? So now all the directions should be good, I hope. Yeah, wow, that was easy. Okay. Well, I'm glad I can still do math. All right, yeah, I think this is good. I just want to see. Oh, wait, no, not that one. Oh, that one is fine, but I was just facing up more than I was to the right. Oh, that's another problem. I think I have a solution for that too. But yeah, you can. How do I show this doing what I? Yeah, I can't like prove that. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing to fail in the way that it had before. Oh, I think we had it. Like you can shoot in a direction that you're not actually facing, but it's really hard to do. I can't seem to repro it. And I know why that's happening. We have a blend space figuring out which direction your character is facing. I've seen enough. Ship it. It's not bad. I mean, it's shaping up. Probably speed up the shooting speed a little bit more. Okay, so now we got to just figure out the muzzle position of every single animation. So yeah, let's go do that. I mean, this really wasn't too bad. Especially because we can just position this thing and then click this button and we're done. So there's right down. There is right up. And there is, oh, up is already done. All right, so that should be all of those. Now walk shooting. This is what looked really bad before. We just got to plug in all of these points. Now, if we want to get really polished for this, like I said, every single time the character jostles a little bit, we could move this. I don't think I'm going to do that. Remember, the general philosophy for sub-games here is good enough is good enough. If this is the only game we were making, we would probably want to polish even this little bit, but it's just not worth the effort. All right, so there. All of those are set. Let's go try that out now. Yeah, making the animation control the shooting direction, I think, is actually the right solution there. And I don't think it's probably too crazy to do that, maybe. All right, so something is messed up. Yeah. The first bullet comes from the wrong position. I think I know why, and I think this is going to be really annoying to fix. Yeah. I think it's that you're not actually in that animation yet. So the muzzle position is being taken from the prior animation. Yeah, you're linked to the last input polling with your animation still in old frame. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So there are a couple different ways we can solve this problem. We're using the muzzle position from the prior animation. So option number 1 would be stop setting the muzzle position in the animation itself. Option 2 is wait for the new animation to start before firing. And this is what I'm leaning toward. Option 3 would be stop resetting the position. No, that would still look bad. Yeah. Hey, Funky Monkey. Yeah, I think we do this. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Because is attacking, we need to know that you actually switched animations. We could try putting this here. This won't actually make a difference as far as I know. Like, yeah, we have try shooting before the animation, but this animation I don't think takes effect until the next frame anyway. So we could just await a single frame before doing that. Yeah, it's still going to be wrong. I wrote something about this somewhere too. No, not there. Yeah, get current node doesn't update synchronously. You just keep track of what should be your current node yourself. Alternatively, you could wait for a frame. Or I wonder if we could just advance the animation by like a fraction of a second. I don't know if you can do that. Start. What does start do? Starts playing the given animation. You have to pass in a node though? Can I pass in the... It's an actual node you pass. No, it's a string name. Let's see what happens here if I do this. I don't think this is going to work. But if it does, this is actually a pretty big find. No, it doesn't work. Should probably rotate the bullets as well, by the way. All right, well, then let's try our wait a frame approach. Oops, sorry. I don't like this idea. Try shooting on next frame. Yuck. So we would say, won't this not work anyway? So async task forget fire and forget. Here we go. So await try or wait a process frame. How do we even do that? There it is. Got it. And then call try shooting. All right, let's try that. I don't think this will even work though, right? Won't we run into a situation where we don't try shooting until we've changed animations and it's already too late? This doesn't even fix the problem. Can you use a trigger even for when it should spawn the bullet, maybe? Kind of wasteful in a way, and the animation would control your fire rate? Yes, but yeah, the animation controlling the fire rate is a bigger problem there. I want you to be able to eventually shoot like just like spam bullets out. Doesn't this mean that waiting a single frame wasn't good enough? Like, what if we wait 2 frames? I'm not going to keep this as a solution. I just want to see if this fixes the problem. Because it should be some amount of waiting. I wonder if I'm just not doing that correctly. Yeah, that was fine. By the way, this is the problem I was talking about earlier. You can kind of see that when you're facing down into the right, you see the bullets aren't really moving at the angle that the gun is shooting at. Like it should be a little bit counterclockwise. That's not so bad to do. We could check after we've picked an angle, like if it's whatever that is, 45 degrees, to actually make it 42 degrees. That. The other directions I think look good. That one's fine. That one's definitely fine. I mean, up has to be good. Up and right looks fine. Right looks fine. So it's got to be this and this that aren't totally good. Yeah. Everything else is kind of fine. What are those angles? I'll just go change those now, maybe. What's going on here? Can't click anything. All right, this is a little bit worrisome. My computer's kind of been freezing lately. Angle is 90. That's not right. There, angle is 45, and the other one must be 135. Yes. All right, we want them to not be so extreme. Which way? 45 and 135, and which way are they firing now? They're firing at not a steep enough angle, so we got to flare it outward in both directions. So maybe like 40 and 140. So if angle dot is equal to 45 or angle is equal to 135. Well, how about this? Just if it's 45, angle is equal to 40. If it's 135, angle is equal to 140. Let's try that. Normally you can't compare quality, but this actually should allow for perfect precision because of the operation I'm doing. But we could subtract and check an epsilon against an absolute value. What did I mess up? Oh, I just randomly typed quotes in there. Wonder if that feels weird. If it's not always a multiple of 45. I don't know. I mean, it's either that it feels weird or it looks weird, because we're not going to change the animations, I bet. Yeah, like that looks a lot better, right? And you can't really tell that it's not exactly the 45-degree snapping, right? But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Hey, Trackley. I love this bouncing bullets off the wall thing. Like, I kind of want to keep that in the game. Actually, a game that did this would probably lead to some interesting strategies. Like, if there were an enemy over here, you could either try to aim directly at it. If it were a twin stick shooter, I guess you could. Or, yeah, you could bounce them off the walls. But I'm probably going to need to just delete bullets when they hit walls. I do think it's funny, though. All right, well, I think this feels good. All right, so here's one of the problems. Yeah, we're facing up and to the left, but we're shooting left. How did I get that to happen? There we go. Yeah, there's a seal on the wall. Okay, so yeah, one of the problems when shooting your gun, we base the angle of the bullet on the animation being used. Wait, no, we don't. On your facing direction, but the animation doesn't perfectly align with your facing direction. So where was this easiest to repro? When I'm facing up into the right slightly? No, come on. Come on. How do I get this to happen? There we go. Yeah. So I got to take a picture of this. No, 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 no. Come on. There we go. Easiest to repro standing still but facing slightly up and to the right. Is it still the same game? Yeah, it's still the same game. Stuck in a broken tutorial. And this will be the game after the farming game. And yeah, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so next up is make bullets collide with terrain. Yeah. And yeah, add in the spear. Not sure we want to do that at all. This cat. My legs have no blood flow anymore. She's sleeping so peacefully, though. So I guess we should check in what I've done so far. Also, I mean, I kind of want to just ignore this. Possible loss of precision while rounding numbers. Yeah, fine. Let's just do the right thing. Math f dot abs angle minus 45 is less than math f dot epsilon. And then this is 135. And I accidentally put an extra parenthesis. Okay, so specifically at 45 degrees and 135 degrees, the sprites look like they're facing a slightly different angle. Yeah. All right, but everything else looks pretty good. This looks horrendous. I don't know what to do about this, but it looks horrendous from a code perspective. From a game perspective, it just always works. Yeah. So I don't know what to do about that. Although, wait a second. If we... I'm trying to get it to mess up. And it looked like it might have been messing up, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, if it works, it works. Well, now I have a better way of... I don't think I have a better way of doing it. You should probably move faster, right? I don't know, movement speed and bullet shooting speed and damage and whatever. We got to figure all that out. The other thing, too, is this is supposed to be a game about upgrades. So if you move too slowly at the beginning, you could just make it so you can move faster with upgrades. The muzzle position is set from the animation, which doesn't take effect. Why is this for 2 frames, though? Because first we set the animation and then we play it? All right, well, let's go look through our... This is all fine. These are setting the muzzle position. This is good. Yeah, this is good too. Okay, yeah, pretty good. Anything I added that was new? Yeah, bullet. Oh, that should have been added before. That's new. That's good. This stuff I need. Add shooting bullets. They don't ever disappear yet. Commit. All right, and here's just a missing file. Add file from an earlier commit. I had forgotten to check in a UID file. Okay, so next up is getting bullets to collide with terrain. I mean, they already collide, but when they do collide, they need to get deleted. And I'm not totally sure how we do this. We have body entered, body exited. And then the tile map itself. Where did that go? Here. Tile map itself has... No, it doesn't have anything here. Shouldn't there be some kind of like on body entered from colliding with the terrain? Because this has collision. Huh. There's got to be a way to do that. Hey, monkeys. It's pretty funny. I don't know if you know the meme that this is referencing, though. Let me see if I can find it really fast. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I don't know why, but this just stuck in my head ever since then, whenever this came out years and years and years ago. Where is it? Yeah, it's like the fifth one from the bottom. Yeah, I remember this. Rooty tooty point-n-shooty. So silly. So Godot detect collision with tile map layer. Tile map layer. How do I detect collision on tile maps? Detecting collision with specific tile map layer. Yeah, so they have a collision on them. Like that's already set up. There's got to be some event you can use for this, right? Get slide collision count. Oh, interesting. Can rigid bodies do this? Because there's a move and collide function for, I think, a character body 2D. And I guess that's what we're supposed to use. In which case, then this is pretty much fine. Okay, there's some strange things that have been happening lately. Like, this takes a long time to load. My computer's kind of been freezing a little bit. I mean, this taking a long time to load could be the server, but my computer freezing is not some server problem. Move and collide. And this is on physics body, which means that rigid body has it. Yeah, rigid body has it. But we shouldn't be calling move and collide, right? No, wait, we don't. Wait, what? I'm confused. Move and collide. Yeah, they don't mention this on rigid body 2D. I thought they said don't ever do this yourself. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do this, which makes me think I'm supposed to use maybe character body 2D, because this actually handles the movement, right? Moves body along vector motion. In order to be frame rate independent, motion to be computed using delta. Returns a kinetic collision. Yeah, so this seems like I should use a character body. Not affected by gravity, other physics. Can I share both of these? I only saw one thing right now, but yeah, thank you for the resub. That'd be quarter year. What's the second thing? A stream streak, maybe? I don't think it lets you share them both at once, though, because they have dedicated message types. Yeah, so I think, so option one is change bullets into character body 2D and call move and collide. We could also call test move, which I think is a waste of effort. Oh, 2 month and 3 month. Okay, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. Wow. All right, well, that was option one. Option two is to call, what is it, move, test move with the rigid body 2D. And I don't know if there's an option three. Maybe some signal on the tile map layer, which kind of sounds dumb to me. Rigid body 2D, Godot, move and collide. Keep moving after collision. Oh, they don't apply an impulse if they do that? Oh, you just wouldn't apply the impulse, I guess. Oh. Is it intended to be used? Sounds like it would cause strange behavior. Is point and polygon. Yeah, I'm not sure what the up-to-date recommendation would be for this. And yeah, I didn't see anything on tile map layer. I'm inclined to do this. This would be call, move, and collide on the rigid body. But don't apply the impulse. I'm not totally sure this is even supported. Board IT guy. NATJ. Must have an on collision enter, or at least a general on collision to know what happened. Yeah, you can do that with regions. I don't know how to do that with a tile map layer. I think tile map layers themselves have something for this. I think there's some like get overlapping bodies, or I don't know. Yeah, it's collision stuff, which means there should be some methods here. I don't see anything. Didn't I already do this somewhere in the code? Get overlapping areas. This is for areas. There's something that a tile map layer can do. Environment? I don't remember. Hey, Atomic. No way. Can you apply the physics layer to the collider of the tiles? Yeah, there already is a physics layer there. I'm just not totally sure how to use it. So in the inspector, we have a physics, yeah, collision enabled. I just don't know, how do you do this? It's already colliding. I just can't detect it. All right, I'm gonna ask AI what's the best thing in this case. All right, so my bullets, or I guess I should say it this way, is currently a rigid body 2D. I want to detect collision with a tile map layer so that I know to delete the bullets. What's the best way to do this? Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And not extra high, but just regular high. Hey, Pickle. Okay. I've got to move my legs. I don't know how much this cat weighs, but I think it's like 11 pounds. And 11 pounds on your lap for like an hour makes you feel like you have no legs anymore. All right, spawn by player, parent under bullet node, checking the exact motion and collision setup now. Body contact signal, area 2D, or manual ray or shape cast. Yeah, I just don't know what's best here. And part of the reason I want to find out more instead of just picking one of these things is because we're going to be making a lot of sub games. We're probably going to be using a lot of techniques in a lot of sub games, and I don't want to solve the same problem in like 4 different ways. Less about adding tile queries and more about listening to existing contact. Yeah, where does that come from though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I know there's some function that reports this. I just don't know where it is. And I would expect it to be in tile map layer, but if we search for body, no. Overlap, no. Contact, I don't know what it's called. Tile set physics on collision layer 1. Signal approach will work for tile layers that actually have it. They may need collision. Yeah, what signals though? I just don't see. Tile map layer only has changed. Maybe this has a way of detecting a... Yeah, there's just body entered and exited, which I don't think would be true for the bullet. I think it'd be true for the body that it's entering. Best fit for your current setup is keep it as a rigid body, enable contact reporting, and delete it from body entered when the body is a tile map layer. Contact reporting. Where's that? I don't know where that is. Contact monitor equals true. It's got to be over here somewhere. I should be able to type contact. There it is. Solver. Where's that? Here. If true, rigid body will emit signals when it collides with another body. Okay. Bye, cat. It's nice seeing you. You're gonna leave? She's like, oh no, I like these pets. I would like more of these, please. No, I gotta take my break soon. Why? Oh, you want to scratch your face, don't you? There is no freedom from cat. All right, yeah. So let's finish reading this. You should not need manual tile coordinate checks for the walls layer. Yeah. One caveat, I didn't see physics collision data in the tile set. Did I even use that tile set? I don't think I did. Top-down shooter. Well, I did, but technically it's just the ground. Cute cat. I agree. She won't stop licking my arm now. It's turning red. Hey, Nightlight. A real cool cat. All right, well, let's try this out. So this goes into bullet, where we currently have nothing. Max contacts reported 1. So this means you can only shoot 1 enemy at a time. I think we should at least set this to 2. I don't know. Let's set the 1 for now. All right, let's try running now. Too adorable. Hey, Luna. Yeah, she's very cute. She's trying to tear through my skin layer. You started a stream purely for the cat. Yeah. She's a pretty cat. Good cat. All right, what do we got here? Nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Wow, look at that. I wanted to shoot the exact corner of this thing. Yeah, I think everything's looking fine. Man, this controller does not move downward as quickly as it moves upward. Or at least, like, not this direction. Where is it? Yeah, like some directions I can move faster just because of what it's reporting. Like the physical control stick, I think, is broken. Like, look at how slowly this is moving. I have it slammed all the way to the side. It just doesn't move that quickly. But then I go in this direction, it's a little bit faster. That direction's even faster. Yeah, it starts to really slow down around the bottom diagonals. Anyway. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. All right, cat, it's break time. Check in what I did. This is not a problem. And yeah, okay. I'm gonna go take my break. Excuse me, Abby. I'm sorry. Here, let me give you this. Good cat. Okay, is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, ABC. Close the game. I probably need to restart my computer. I just realized I should do that today. All right, check in what I've done. Let's go do that first. Bullet.tscn, this doesn't actually matter. And bullet.cs, this does matter and needs to be in a namespace. And that's it. That's all we did. Make bullets disappear. Oh, nice. When they hit a wall. Hey, Brainoid, how's it going? All right. Oh, here comes Cat again. Come on, Abby. Come on. You know you want to. That's right. That's right. All right. I will have no use of my legs today. Come on, sit down. Good cat. Good cat. All right, where do we leave off? So add in shooting the gun, make them collide with terrain, check out what I did. That's all finished. Add enemies with basic logic to pathfind to you when they see you. If monsters swarm you, will this game still be fun? So I don't know. Let's find out. She's probably going to fall asleep. You can't really exactly see. She's licking her own paw right now. But her paw's on my arm. She likes to fall asleep on my arm while I'm using the computer. And she somehow sleeps through all the little movements of me, like, you know, playing a game or moving my mouse hand or something. It is cute, but it is also crushing for blood flow. So add enemies with basic logic to pathfind to you. Add in getting hurt and hurting. Add some basic UI. I mean, yeah, we're building up the game. It's going to probably feel like a game after I do this next step. So let's start by adding an enemy. Maybe call them monster. They are kind of monsters. That's not a judgment call. They're just like demons and stuff. Where are they? Your assets. Sprites, characters, top-down monsters. Yeah, so let's start with just any of these. Which one's maybe the best? That's pretty good. I just want something that stands out against the current tile set. So something a little bit more colorful might be good. Granted, we're going to have like a million of these. And this we should keep open, because otherwise I'll have no idea what we're looking at. supposed to use the second one, I guess. Actually, there is an idle animation too. We could use an idle and a walking animation. They look very similar. Where is the pack for these monsters? There. So this is presumably idle. And this is their walking animation. Yeah, I think using them both would probably be good. So add an enemy scene. Each enemy should have an idle and a walk animation. For now, just put them in the animation player. Yeah, it's something too crazy. Oh, and a death animation. Oh, we have a couple different death animations, right? Where are they? Oh, and a hurt animation too. Oh, drat. Okay, each enemy should have these animations. Idle, walk, hurt, and death. The hurt one doesn't show up here, but there are a couple different death ones, I think. That one. That. No, that looks like they're being created. Unless we play it in reverse. I don't like that one. I think I like that one better. And that's decent too, I guess. Yeah, it's okay. So that's probably pretty good. So add enemy scene, add those animations, and then make an aggro range probably. Really, the way that it probably should be done is via like proper sight. Although it's reasonable that they'd hear you walking, so I guess it could just be sound. And we're gonna make the map such that this just makes sense, I guess. So add an aggro range for enemies. It can just be a large area, or even a dynamically created area. A large area that triggers aggression when you enter it. And then when not aggroed, maybe like find a random point within a few steps to walk to. I don't know. Yeah. And when aggroed, pathfind to the player. Okay, and then after all this stuff, like, fun check. Is this game fun? Can we improve monster AI? What else can we add? Wish your dog would sit on your lap while you work? The idea is cute, but it gets uncomfortable fast. Yeah, it's exactly that. Like, the warmth of having an animal on you is pretty nice in the winter, but it's not necessarily that nice in the summer. I would like to move my legs. Yeah, 120 pounds. Yeah, that definitely would not be comfortable for very long. But she's so fluffy. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we can get a decent amount of this done. And then once we do this part, we practically have a gameplay loop. Then all we need are upgrades. So yeah, by the end of tomorrow, we really should have something resembling a game. It's kind of amazing how, I don't know, just how the process works. All right, so we make a new scene. This is going to be a character body, I guess. Because we'll have like move and slide for this. And we'll call this monster. We'll save this in here, monster. We'll attach a script called, you guessed it, monster. I'll give it the right namespace. Go back over here. So this needs an animated sprite 2D. We're going to make a new sprite frame and go add in a bunch of one of the enemies. Did I find a particular one that I liked? I don't recall. It doesn't really matter. We can just swap them out for anything else. Let's just pick this one, 10.png. All right, character, this, free, 10. And what are they? 80 by 80? Yeah. Okay, so first things first, idle animation. Done. And rename this to idle. And autoplay. All right, now add a new animation. This is going to be walk. We have hurt. Whoops, what just happened? I typed somewhere else and it put a star at the top, meaning I edited something and I don't know what it was. Okay, let's try that again. Hurt and death. All right, let's do the walk one next. That's over here. Yep. Good. Then hurt is this one. And death is the one where they blow up into pixels. Oh, they have 2 of those. Huh. I guess we could just pick for each one. We could also do this like swirling effect. We could just randomly pick a death animation. I don't know what this one's supposed to be at the bottom. Oh, I see. It's a continuation of the prior row, which means that maybe I should have been... Let's look at their guide that they have here. Teleport. Death 1, death 2. Hold your horses. They use multiple rows. How are you supposed to know then when it continues? Oh, man. How many rows are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And how many animations are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So it looks like teleport and skin power. What? Take up 2, but I don't think it's true. I don't know. I don't really care. Yeah, let's just pick a death animation. Which one looks best? I think we can use multiple different ones at some point. This is probably decent. Well, you're shooting them, so maybe this one looks better because it's like they're blowing up. All right, there. All right, now let's play them out and see what we got. Yeah, this needs to be way faster. It's pretty good. Hey, Agent, welcome in. All right, hurt animation, idle animation. I think all these... Well, idle can probably be maybe like 7 FPS. Yeah, there. That's good enough. All right, so we call this sprite. We make this unique. We go add in an aggro range. I guess we don't need that yet. I guess we don't need any of that yet. We just have the animations, right? So enemy scene is pretty much done. This is done. Aggro range. Okay, I guess we are going to control this next. So let's add an area 2D, which underneath has a collision shape, which is a circle, which is probably pretty large. So this is going to be their sight range or their sound range. When you enter this, this is how this is going to work. What's the game about? I've got a command here that talks about it. So in short, it's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. You're going from like game to game of broken tutorials and trying to find your way out. And this is the newest sub game that we're making here, which is a top-down shooter. And yeah, we're just making some progress on this. I only just started this particular game yesterday, so it's still pretty fresh. All right, so this, we're going to call this like the aggro range or aggro area, or maybe like detection area. I don't know. Aggro. Is it a common enough term? Has everyone else heard this? It's going to be on Steam. Yeah, please do check out the FAQ that's linked right above your message. It should have answers to most of your questions. Aggro. Video game. I think it's probably good enough. Yeah, I think it's probably good enough. It doesn't really matter either. Maybe we should call it detection area. Yeah, maybe detection area. Okay, that's probably better. Enmity is a professional term. Not like anyone cares. I just wonder if it was common enough, or if someone else was looking at this project and they saw aggro, they'd be like, what? But detection is pretty unambiguous. So that should be fine. Now we go set the collision of this. So this is going to be, I guess, an enemy colliding with a player. Yeah. Probably should call that player instead of character. I'll write that in cleanup, because I think that's probably a nicer thing. Rename character physics layer to player. Make sure we don't have any string references to it in the code, or like update any string references to it in the code if we even have them. Yeah, let's go. that somehow got deleted. There we go. All right, so we get the detection area. We now need to add one of these to the scene. So let's go put this over here. Monster. We'll have just one monster. And it'll be there. And it's not going to do anything just yet. And maybe we should make a monsters node. Node 2D monsters node. Or monster node. Put this under here. And probably get this too. Well, we need to be able to... Well, no, actually, do we need to be able to add them? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work yet. We might have generators. They might just be in the room to begin with. Yeah, I haven't thought too much about this. Yeah, I haven't thought too much about this. All right, so add an aggro range. We've done that. We need to figure out when something enters the aggro range. So private area 2D detection area. All right, get node. Sometimes. All right, now detection area dot on body entered. Body entered detection area. So if body is top-down shooter player, private bool has detected player, then this equals true. Then in physics process, sometimes. All right, in physics process, if we've detected the player, then we want to move toward them. So for now, let's just do this the cheapo way. So move and slide. We pass in what? We don't pass in anything. We just give it a velocity. Velocity equals, we need the player. Yeah, I think in this particular case, we'll just initialize them directly with the player. Top down shooter player player. Player equals player. Go create that. Go set this to null. All right, so velocity equals player dot position minus position. Technically, these would be global positions. So this is the direction that we move in. Vector to dir to player equals this. We're going to normalize that. And then we're going to take that and multiply it by some speed. And the speed is just going to be a constant floating point speed for now of like, it's got to be faster than you move. Because this is supposed to be a hard game at first. So 60 pixels per second. All right, so that should do it. They're going to just stand there until until they detect you. And now we just need to initialize the monster. So monster, get node monster. Init it with the player. And let's try it out. So they should just be standing there. And then when you walk into an invisible circle near them, they'll walk toward you. And you cannot outrun them. They don't do anything when they reach you. But yeah, spooky. Spooky. Okay, so this is fine. This is fine. We need to change this to pathfinding. So change monster movement to pathfinding. But yeah, that's pretty good. And then yeah, add in hurt and hurting. And the other thing we should do is make it so that the monsters themselves collide with the environment. There. So now if you were to, and I don't know if we can even set this up. If you were to walk them into a wall, they would get stuck. Like I said, I don't know if this is possible, but if it is, you're going to have to go around here. I could just expand their aggro range. But yeah, if I walk here, maybe? No, maybe if I walk like here. Yeah, now I move. Oh, it just walked right through the wall. I guess because the tile map layer does not have collide with monsters on it. Projectile. Oh, it shouldn't need that. Enemy projectile. We don't have a physical layer there, and we do have it on the floor. Did I mess something else? Oh, this is the detection area. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. We need a collision shape for this. I never even added one. Or like body collision. Or maybe movement collision. So this should be a little circle over here. And then we need like a hurt box as well. All right, so monster collides with... Yeah, this is all wrong. The character with the world with some bullets, and they are an enemy. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okie dokes. Let's go check this out. Nice. Now, they won't ever stop detecting you. You can't get that far away from them anyway. But if you could, they would never forget that you exist. It's not like in the classic, like, did you hear that? What happened? All of our comrades are getting murdered. Yeah, better just go back to idling around. Oh, no, you can get far away from them. Yeah, because I guess you can do this. Well, like I said, they won't forget you. They know that you're there. So if I just keep shooting like this, and you walk into my path of bullets, that's on you. Although nothing will hurt you right now. Wait, one of those bullets went off to the upper right. Oh, because it bounced off the enemy? Oh. Yeah, they're bouncing off their feet. I guess for movement collision, we don't make it collide with everything else. So this is not technically movement collision. All right, we might need to get a little bit better with this. All right, I gotta move the cat. I'm sorry, cat. I need to move. Come on, Abby. Abby, come on. Move. Move your butt. She's like, I will fight this. Okay. Goodbye. Sorry, cat. Hey, Raimu. How you doing? All right, so yeah, we're gonna have to split up movement versus the hurt box, because like the hurt box should be the entire sprite, I think, but movement needs to just be the bottom. I guess that means that the monster is not actually considered a monster, or they're not a character body 2D. Gotta think about this. Kitty collision. Yeah. I'm okay with kitty collision when I'm laying down. Or when it's for a small amount of time. All right, so how should we set this up? The problem is that right now, our character body 2D is the root node in the scene, and it has collision saying that it's a monster. This means that colliding with walls or colliding with bullets, kind of the same thing. I guess we just do it for movement. We have some detection region that is a hurt box, so we basically don't call this a monster. Yeah, and we say it just collides with the world and maybe the character. Maybe not the character. They should be able to like move on to you, right? Maybe other monsters, so they don't group up too much. Yeah, something like this. So that's movement. Now we need a hurt box here. Area 2D hurt box. It's actually also their hit box. So I guess like damage area. Yeah, that's probably good. Cat's collision box has got a bit larger. Cat might need a diet. All right, maybe make this a capsule. Trying to roughly match the shape. That's decent. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so the damage area needs to be enemy, collide with projectile, with character, and I think that's it. All right. So now we can do some stuff. There we go. Hello again. Okay, fine. You can stay. Just like I will sit here. I don't care what you think. My arm has to be this awkward angle. Maybe I can do this. Move the keyboard over here. The mouse here. Yeah, that's actually more comfortable. Told you. Yeah, break over. There will be no reprieve. Private animated sprite 2D sprite. Okay, animated sprite 2D. I think I just called this sprite. So the bullets themselves detect when they hit something. This is another body entering. I guess this is probably fine. Else if body is monster dot take damage, and yeah, then queue free. All right, we don't have a take damage function, so how about this? Let's just call queue free for right now. Yeah, let's just see if that works. So now if you hit a monster with a bullet, they should just die immediately. They'll eventually need to play an animation or something, but I just press space. Oh, that didn't work. What did I mess up? Oh, because it's the damage area. I didn't do this correctly. If the parent of it, so if body is area 2D area and area dot get parent is monster. Yeah, it's still not working. What? Damage area is area 2D. Yeah, parent is monster. Okay. And I set these things correctly, maybe? Enemy collide with projectile. This is projectile collide with enemy. Yeah. Is this set to monitoring? Yes. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. I think it might just be this, the on-body entered part. I think it's the bullet. I don't understand how this works for tile map layers because tile map layers don't even move. So how about this? Let's go delete some of this stuff. Else if body is area 2D area. Hit area. So I'd expect this to get hit. Let's put a breakpoint there. And let's close out of everything that I have running. And try this again. Because, yeah, nothing seems like it's wrong here. This got hit already? No, it didn't. Okay. Huh, yeah. Strange. Strange indeed. I wonder what I'm missing. Oh, areas might work a little differently. Yeah, I think they do work a little bit differently. And this odd body entered, yeah, that's why. Because there's area entered, I think. Area entered event handler. Body shape entered. All right, I thought there was some other entered thing for this, but maybe we should just do this from the monster. Damage area. Damage area dot body entered. All right. So now if body is bullet, Q free. I guess also tell the bullet to free itself, right? Bullet.Q free. Now we delete this from over here. And then run this. Yeah. Yeah. We did it. Okay, now let's make it a little bit more realistic here in terms of how much damage we can deal. So private int life equals 100. When we take damage, life minus equal 20. If life is less than or equal to 0, Q free. And then we play. Animations are allocations, right? Yeah, they are. All right, fine. Top-down shooter. So string name death animation. Death and hurt animation. We also have, what's the other animation? Idle and walk. Do we already have those somewhere? We have idle. So maybe we'll make a new region here. Does sound so much nicer than die. Shared animation names. All right, so idle can go in here. Walk. Oh, walk is already there. Walk can go in here. Death animation, which I guess we already have over here. Well, that's not shared yet. Yeah, so let's not do anything special about that. Okay. So now back to our monster class. When we take damage, we play Godot string names.hurt. And when we are dead, we play the death animation. And then we turn off our collision. Monitor. No, there's no monitor. How do we do this? Character body 2D. We could just disable all their collision. That might work. I'm not dropping frames at least, but yeah, is anyone else having an issue with my stream? I guess at the end of the death animation, we could just have it. Oh, it's not an animation player though. Okay, so sprite dot animation finished plus equal Q free. And then change the collision. Collision layer equals 0. Collision mask equals 0. You just turn this off. Godot character body 2D turn off collision. Just change this. Yeah. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is just the technical complexities of getting video from one party to another. All right, so once we're done with this animation, we need to go back to the next animation. I mean, really what we should do is we should have an animation tree controlling this. Yeah. Okay, so we need an animation tree controlling their states. After playing... Oh, also, they should detect you if you're shooting them from afar, right? I need to think about that. If you hit them with a bullet... This shouldn't be here. This should be take damage. And this should be private. And then has detected player would be true. Yeah, so after playing hurt, go to walk. After playing death, Q free. All right, so we don't ever change our animation from here, right? I guess as soon as they detected the player, private void set has detected player. So we play their walk animation. We need them to face the correct direction. I didn't think about that either. And then set this to true. I don't want to interrupt their hurt animation though. I don't even know if we should have a special animation for that. It's probably going to look weird. Yeah. All right. So the only other thing we need is up here. Sprite dot flip h equals dir to player dot x is less than 0. All right, let's try some of this about. I did a bunch of different things. So now we play a hurt animation when you hit them. Hitting them will make them detect you, which will then make them change to the walk animation. They can take 5 bullets before they die. Huh. They never leave the hurt animation. Makes sense because I never made them leave the hurt animation. And also I set that to autoplay. Hurt is not looping and death is not looping. Yeah, the other ones are. Yeah, I don't feel like messing with that just yet. So let's just try this out. They should take 5 hits and they should die. So I'll just move over to here and we'll blast them 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I shot a 6th time and there is a problem here. Why can't I scroll up? There we go. Animation finish is already connected. Yeah. This shouldn't be done. Oh, wait a second. No, something else is wrong. No, this is getting connected multiple times. We're trying to kill them multiple times. But we turn off their collision here. I mean, we could just check to see if they were not dead and now they are dead. Bool was dead equals is dead. And if is dead. There we go. Now private bool is dead. There. All right, well, that'll fix the error that's printing out. Oh, it does mean that this code is triggering twice, which, well, was triggering twice. Okay, that's not expected. Their collision isn't actually turning off. I don't understand why that's not working. How do you feel was dead is not equal to is dead? Yeah, that would work because there's no reviving them. But I do think this is clearer. I try to go for readability, especially when it's just Boolean checks. Yeah, he's so very sour. So yeah, something's going wrong with this. That we're not stopping bullets. This is not the Neo monster. One thing we could do is just turn off the damage area completely. Just never call this function again. Because yeah, I don't plan on having monsters revive themselves. We can just code for what we specifically have in this game. With that said, it is unusual that there's no way to turn off a damage area. Isn't there some monitorable property? Yeah, monitoring and monitorable. What are these? If true, area detects bodies or areas entering and exiting it. And if true, it's going to detect this area. Yeah, so I want to just turn those off. Damage area dot monitoring equals false. I don't think you can do this from here. I think it's because I'm modifying it while we're in the middle of detection that it's going to complain at me. But let's try it. Because I don't want... It should only have 5 bullets hit it, and then the other should just pass through it. Yeah, it's still not working. And I'm guessing it's complaining about exactly what I just said, that you're changing this while Function blocked during in or out signal. Use set deferred monitoring. Okay. How do we do that? Call deferred. Callable dot from. What didn't work? Argument 1. Cannot convert from callable to string name. Huh. Only has a string name? You can't. What? Have I never done this? I guess I could use a tween, but I think it sounds silly. Godot C# call deferred. Functional version. Callable dot from call deferred. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, whatever. All right, now we're finally good, right? Except for that the animations are going to be wonky. Yeah, neat. So what's going on that it didn't actually play the death animation? Huh. Playing death animation. Playing hurt animation. I'm not updating the animation in physics process, am I? No. Also, I kind of like that they still move toward you as they're dying. We could stop that too. We could check to see like if they're dead, don't move, but I kind of like that. They chase you till their last breath. No, that worked fine. It didn't work fine the first time though. I didn't just change anything. I wonder if it's some timing thing. Yeah, so it says play their death animation. And then something went wrong. Oh, I think I know. Because of this. We try playing the walking animation. So if not has detected player, then do this stuff. Yeah, there. All right, so now the walk animation won't interrupt it, which means it'll never actually finish the animation, which then would make it not die. So it had to do with me moving and shooting, and that's now fixed. Yeah. All right, pretty cool. So we have the ability to add monsters now to the scene. And I will go do this. So let's go instantiate in some other monsters. Sorry, this is really hard to control without a proper mouse. Because the cat's on my arm. Monster. Good. And we put that one over here maybe. All right. So I'm going to use the controller for just the stick and then space to fire. Yeah. Oh, that's causing a bunch of errors. Why might that be? Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Oh, not all the monsters were initialized. Yeah. I gotta go change this. So var monster node, get node, monster node. Then for each monster and get children of type monster. I'm just doing this quickly for right now. I still don't know how we're even going to define monsters in the game. There we go. Because like if we have generators, then we're creating them at runtime. If we just put them in the scene ahead of time, then yeah, we need to fetch them. So let's do this and this. Okay, then it seems to have crashed. Something happened. Is this just that it stopped on this breakpoint? Or is it an exception? No, it looks like it's stopping here. Yeah, it is just stopping there. Some spawn animations. Yeah, if we do need a spawn animation, we could do that. I'm still not certain how we want to set up the just general game flow. So getting hurt is done. Hurting is not done. Let's go do that. So the player character that we have here also needs a life value. Private int life equals 100. And they should have some like invincibility frames maybe. How far has the game come by? What's the complete percentage? So I started, I think maybe 2 months ago. And I think it'll take like 2 to 3 years. So just in terms of number of time, we're probably about like 5 to 7% complete. So yeah, it's still the early phases. We have a lot to do. That should be a cool effect to spawn them. Yeah, I don't know for sure if we're gonna. Like I said, I don't know how spawning's gonna work. Like, do we have generators? Like, yeah, how do enemies spawn? Do we have generators? Do we just position them ahead of time? Can we vary? Can we add traps? Aggro range. So like some should get faster as you shoot them. Some should probably shoot their own bullets back at you. This would mean changing collision masks so that bullets of different types know what to collide with. The functions in the code can do this, like C# functions can do this, but then we're checking collision against extra entities. Monster bullets would still compare against all monsters, despite that they can never hit. There should be strawberry enemies. All right, the other thing I'm kind of curious about is what's the best structure for the world? Single screen, scrolling. Well, it's pretty much just that. I don't have any other ideas. Yeah, so I was talking about with generators. Like, I was picturing something like Gauntlet Legends. I mean, that's not the only game with generators, but they have monster generators where monsters come out of them. Yeah, so like this is a good picture of it. That little wooden structure on the right side would just keep spitting out monsters. And you could destroy the generator. Could also like power it down. So like these little weak looking monsters are not as strong as these ones. And the generator could produce the strong ones and then you have to like damage it to destroy it. So maybe we do something like that. Maybe not. I'm not totally sure yet. And that's why I just say this is in the fun check part. Because once we have the basic rules of the game, we can just start changing things and messing around and seeing like what feels the best. But yeah, for now, let's go work on the life. Oh yeah, I was saying there should be invincibility frames, right? So private double invincibility cooldown equals 0. So when greater than 0, you can't be hurt. Yeah, so here we just do minus equal delta. And then somewhere we detect if a monster enters. So we don't have a hurt box on the player, right? No, we don't. And I got to go change how this works anyway. This can be closed. So we got to do the same thing we did over here, where this is technically not considered to be the player, because then monsters collide with them. Well, maybe we do keep that. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But we're going to have to do the same thing that we did over here. So let's go add in a new area 2D and call this damage area. Oh, this is really just a hurt box, right? Yeah, you don't hurt enemies by touching them. So now we add a collision shape underneath this. So this is a little tricky. Player collision is always tricky because you don't want to be mean and have it be like way bigger than the actual shape that they are, or else the game feels too hard. So I guess as long as an enemy is touching you, it should feel like you're being hurt. So maybe it comes down to like this general area. We could make it a capsule. Whoops, I meant to click capsule. I'm using my keyboard to control mouse movements right now because the cat is sleeping on my hand. Okay, there we go. So there's their hurt box. Now we got to set collision on this. So you can only collide with enemies. There. Rikuri Puli. Top 10 shooter player hurt box should be absolutely tiny, like half of sprite width. So normally, yeah, I would agree. I think this particular game, what's kind of interesting about it is you were expected to die. It's expected to be like practically impossible at first, and then your upgrades will help you like overwhelm the enemy. So at some point, your hurt box would be the entire screen, and hopefully you're just still invincible pretty much. All right, so now we have the hurt box. We're going to do sort of like what we did for monster, which is damage area. Yeah, let's just close everything else that I have here. Top down player.cs. So let's add this in. Let's add this in. Let's rename this to hurt area. Body entered hurt area. Yep. Okay, so we're looking good. This is if it is a monster. Monsters don't actually take damage from this, so we can just do that. So yeah, take damage, take damage. Now we don't have any animation. Oh no, we do have an animation. We're getting hurt. I'll eventually need to play that. Play the hurt animation when you get hurt. You'll probably quickly shift back into the shooting animation. It's an ultra indie game. I mean, it's an indie game. I don't know about ultra indie. All right, so yeah, life minus equal 20. Yeah, we need to handle the whole death loop here somewhere. Yeah, I have that written down. We're not gonna get to that today, I think. All it takes a kitty to come in and all that goes out the window. Yeah, I'm like really uncomfortable right now, but she's just so peacefully sleeping. What a good cat. All right, so if life is less than or equal to 0, so this would be that you're dead, but we don't have anything that you can do here. So like you died. And let's do the same thing we had here. Bool was dead equals life is less than or equal to 0. So if not was dead and this. All right, so it's just going to print something out for right now. But if you're not dead, then we're going to set your invincibility frame. Actually, you can't even take damage unless you're... So if invincibility cooldown is, what did I say, greater than 0 means you're invincible? How about we just make a Boolean so this isn't confusing? Is invincible. Yeah. So up here, if is invincible, return. There. And then here, whenever you take damage, we set your invincibility cooldown to some amount. I mean, you can't outrun monsters, so it really doesn't matter what we set this to. You're gonna die. So it's just how fast do you die. So you can die in 2.5 seconds now. And I don't know, maybe we start this at a quarter of a second, so you can die in 1.25 seconds now. Let's go see what happens. On every AOO, what is it? Body not set. Okay, so hurt area isn't actually what I called this. It's hurt box is what I called this. Hurt box. Oh, app. Oh, I see. Wait, why did the UI change with getting a new laptop? Or are you just saying it got smoother? It doesn't look any different? All right, so if I just walk into an enemy, we should die after 1.25 seconds. It is not, I'm not dying. I don't even know if I'm taking damage. I set this up. Oh, I know what's happening. It's not the monster that's entering, is it? No, it's got to be if body is area 2D area and area.get parent is monster. I think it's this. You guys came 1801, so 2 minutes before you started. I actually should have started streaming a little bit earlier. I was just slower to wake up today. But how's it going, Oppressal? Did your guest leave, or are you showing them the stream now? Huh, it's still not working. Let's put a breakpoint here. Nothing's even entering this. What did I do wrong? So Hurtbox has layer 2, which is player, and collides with 7, which is enemy. Monster has 7 and collides with 2. Yeah, so I think the problem is that it's on body entered, and this is technically not a body. I always mess this up. Hurt area dot area entered? Yeah, area entered. Area entered hurt area. All right, so body entered hurt area should be area entered, and then we get a node 2D area. Conflicting variable areas defined below. Yeah. So wait, don't we know that this is in area 2D? Where is this? Area 2D Godot. Guess left. Tried my hardest to redeem first. Wait, who got it? I didn't even see that. Oh, Matt did. Yeah. Been watching Xbox and Nintendo and other events lately. They announced OOT remake and Switch 2. Wait, really? Huh. I did not see this. I'll have to check this out today. Is there a video that I can watch, or is it literally just the picture and then it says 2026? Huh. I'm very torn on whether I would have fun playing that. There's a very, very short marketing video. Okay, look up short marketing video. Oh, this isn't cleanup. I meant to put this in afternoon. Another links model. Okay, there's not much to see. Yeah, I think Ocarina of Time is one of those like defining video games that my opinion is that it would not be fun for me to play again. I would love to hear the music though. But yeah, I'm just not certain. Like, they had a 3DS remake of this, and I got that, and I was like, it's just not. It's not like graphics were ever the problem for me. And they had some quality of life improvements, and those were kind of nice. But like, if it's the same game in the end, it's like I've played the game, I know the story, I know what general like things are gonna happen and everything. And that doesn't always stop me from enjoying a game again. I got Wind Waker, and then I got like Wind Waker HD or something. And that was mostly to show my wife. And then she played it and she liked it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Yeah, I think I want just a new Zelda game. Probably have to pass this one up. All right, for whatever reason, Twitch has not let me snooze ads anymore. I don't know why this button is disabled. Can I refresh this and then snooze it? Oh, now I can? What? That's got to be a bug, right? I'm only snoozing it because Abby's on me right now, and it'd be too annoying to get her to leave. All right, so I was looking this up because I want to see area entered. Yeah, it takes in an area 2D. So this is not a thing. Area 2D. So all we care about is this. And now I want to try this again. Couldn't get her to be interested. Maybe that remake will get her excited. Yeah, I think remakes can go a long way for attracting new gamers to something. One of the problems that you always have to consider with a remake is sometimes the game design is just so outdated that people won't care anymore. And that's where sometimes a remake has to do some heavy lifting. Like Link's Awakening is a Zelda game that had a remake. And I think they changed enough about the game to make it feel like it's a pretty new game. And one of the biggest changes they made it scroll smoothly from screen to screen. So in the original Zelda game on a Game Boy, I'm pretty sure like you'd hit this vertical line, and when you pressed left, you would have to transition to a new screen. So like you could never have seen both of these houses at the same time in the Game Boy game, I think. And if not this specific instance, then there's some instance of like you couldn't see all four of these things at once. And that actually does add a lot. I think that's like a nice change. It's not just quality of life, but it is quality of life. It's less transition time. It's more visibility into the world. It makes it feel more like an actual world, because like the real world doesn't transition in screens like that. Even though gameplay and loop is very outdated. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, Mist is a little bit of an acquired taste, I think. All right, so all we're going to do is see if after a little over a second, the prince is dead or did die or something. It's still not doing that. Is this even getting hit? Because I think it only happens when you enter the area once. We need to check if that, yeah, it is that. And this is not even the right area. This is a detection area. So we're technically taking damage. Okay, I got to fix all this stuff. Need to change how areas detect collisions. Right now, I'm detecting only when an area enters, not when it leaves. So we can't tell that you should keep taking damage. Also, we're detecting all areas underneath the monster, not just their damage area. I mean, the appeal of remakes is improved controls. N64 games are way too clunky for me. Yeah, the 3DS version improved the controls, especially around equipping items. One of the annoyances in the original Zelda game was that in the water temple, you had to keep equipping the iron boots and unequipping them, and it was just tedious. You press start, there was the like rollover animation to the iron boots. You equip them, you press start again. It kind of did take you out of gameplay. And I like that any Game Boy game that got remade would typically make use of having more buttons on the controller. It's like Game Boy probably would have had an extra button or two and benefited from it for most games and just didn't. All right. So this is working. We're in some of the kind of grunt work of this. Okay, Abby, I gotta get up. I gotta take a break. Oh my God. But I do like how this is shaping up. I mean, we went from having literally nothing yesterday to like now you can move around and shoot. Everything's a little bit wonky. But like it's turning into a game. Yeah. I wonder if there are any animations that we have around like drinking a potion, because we have potion graphics, and I think that's how we'll have upgrades work. Is like you're drinking a potion. Although if you're dying, how does that make sense that you keep the upgrades? Probably doesn't. So what do we have? Attack, dash, death, idle, jump, reloading, run. Yeah, there's no like drink potion thing. I guess because the potions aren't even in this asset pack. The potions are over here somewhere. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distinct colors and 3 sizes of those colors. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe we can make use of all the different... Well, we're probably going to have more than 5 upgrades, though. I mean, we could just draw more colors. Hold position so you can aim. I thought about it. I mean, this... Yeah. We'll have to see how it feels. My basic thinking is this game is not supposed to be like you get through it in one go. And the entire gimmick here is we tell the player that these upgrades are not permanent, but they are. So at some point you'll realize, wait a second, I have been getting stronger. The game was lying to me. And that's the broken tutorial part of this game. So yeah. Anyway, I can definitely see there's plenty of work left to be done for this. So add sound effects for everything. Yeah. Stepping sounds, monsters detecting you, getting hurt, hitting enemies, hitting a wall with a bullet. What else? Drinking a potion, dying. Lab cat, hey, where are you? Okay, lab cat, I gotta get up. What a calm and peaceful cat. Yeah, so where we left off here is this. So I guess this stuff's all done. Detecting only when an area enters. Yeah, I gotta change this. I gotta think of how I want to do this exactly. All right, well, I gotta take my break. I'm sorry, cat. Is it jump time? Come on, Abby. Come on, girl. Come on. She doesn't want to leave. I don't think my computer heard me. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, David. Close the game. All right, so we had some big problems before I left here. So I'm detecting when an area enters. There is no, like, I could keep track. I guess, yeah, let's start with this. Problem, I'm only detecting when an area enters the player's damage region. So I could keep track of which ones are currently inside the region. I don't know who should do this. Is it time to fix that? I think part of this just involves me restarting my computer. I think everything's gotten a little bit wonky. But after restarting, if it's still bad, maybe I do have something I need to do. Out of curiosity, what are we looking at in activity monitor right now, memory-wise? Memory use 54 gigabytes. I don't know how much of that is just the OS doing. Whoa, what is? Oh, I thought it said 27 gigabytes. Oh, I have it searching just for Godot right now. Docker is using 16 gigabytes? For what? Oh my God, I have Weblate running, don't I? Oh my God. Okay, I did not mean for that to be running. But also, that shouldn't be using a ton. Isn't there some way to figure this out? Docker stats? Hang on, let me do this off screen just in case. No, this is fine to show. But what is using all that memory? I mean, right now, there's not a lot in use. But I wonder if these containers like reserved their upper bound. I mean, this was never intended to be running, so I'm just going to quit it. Let's go do it from over here. I think I would have saved it in temp. Yeah, so just Docker compose down from here. So this is going from 16 gigabytes down to, I mean, minimally it's got to go down to 14. Like, it's hopefully less than that, but now what? Still says 16.25. Well, I don't expect that to be the case. Strange. Most of that's probably just caching. Most of the Docker usage or most of the overall operating system usage? This says, no, this is for VMs. Decreased drastically post Google, or do you have all that info still fresh? I don't have it fresh, no. I remember the like broad topics and principles about it. Okay, well, whatever. What's next? Virtual machine service for Docker. Can I just stop the whole thing? Quit. Because we're at 55 gigabytes used. If I just quit the entire thing, this should all drop, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, that super dropped. All right, so now we're at like 39. Riders using 5 gigabytes? Oh, Affinity's using 5 gigabytes? Like, that cannot be true. That can't be good, I mean. Especially if I close everything in here. I bet it's still going to use that much. Something went wrong the other day where it just like ballooned out of control. Yeah, Affinity with nothing open is using 5 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, now it's using 1 gigabyte. Even that seems a little crazy to me. So I'm going to quit this too. Yeah, these are some large numbers here. Everything else looks like mostly fine. C# LSP. I wonder. Yeah, let's quit this for a sec. That's not through VS Code apparently. Okay. Or wait, no, VS Code is still open. Quit. Yep, that just dropped off. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that was a little bit fishy. If I open this again, what are we at? Verifying. It must have run through an update. It did run through an update. Huh. Okay, well, anyway, we just chopped out like 20 gigabytes of RAM usage. We have a larger context window, session sync, agents window, research agent. Okay, I don't care about any of these. I also technically didn't open this correctly. I should have opened it from here. No handler installed. Oh, I just did that too fast. All right. Yeah, so we got to keep track of whatever's currently in there. So what should keep track of which areas are colliding? So option 1, the player keeps track. Option 2, the monster keeps track. And option 3, both keep track. And option 4, the game itself keeps track. I think it makes the most sense for the player to keep track of it. Like a monster enters, and we need to know when they die though, which hopefully would have exit get called on it. I'm not actually certain about that though. So yeah, let's try this out. Private bool is area in range. All right, so then down here we have this set to true. We need to know actually just probably which areas they are eventually. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this. Also, we're going to vary monster sizes a little bit too. Vary aggro range, monster size, damage, etc. Okay, I should think about this a little bit longer. So we will, at any given point, there could be a monster like on top of you doing damage to you. We need to keep track of that they are there. We could just do get overlapping bodies at any given point. I mean, that's probably the easiest way. Let's just do that for now. It'll be 1 call per physics tick. It shouldn't be too crazy. So move and slide, and then something like check for monster damage. Okay, so if is invincible, then just return. Otherwise, for each area 2D in area and get overlapping areas. This is something we can only do from the hurt area. Yeah. Okay, there. That's the easiest thing we could do. All right. Because you're invincible now. All right, so the way this is going to work is whenever you enter their detection range, you'll start taking damage. So as soon as I get close, you'll see the enemy move to me, and then like roughly 1 second later, I'll just be dead. Yeah, there. So it said you died at the bottom. There's no other indication of that. So now we have to solve the next problem, which is that it shouldn't be their detection area that's causing this to happen. It should be their actual hurt area. So that means that the detection area has enemy and character. I mean, you could just check for the name of this being damage area. I think it's a bad idea, though. It almost makes me wonder if the monster should be checking your area, or if I need to lay this whole thing out differently. I don't know how I want to do this. I mean, you could check specifically for like I have these game specific layers. We could just use those. Let me look at the player again. What do we have here? Their hurt box checks for monster. Yeah, I could just set this to game specific and then just have this one check for that. I think that'll work. And I think this won't do the detection area anymore. So whenever you take damage, we should have it print out that you took damage because we don't have any UI yet. Took damage. Yeah, you can take damage 5 times. But now, hopefully, it only happens when you touch the enemy and not when you touch their detection area. No, that's still not working. And now they're not detecting you. Because I put that on the wrong thing. Oh, man. All right, that's kind of funny. We got to set this back to what it was. There. And then damage area changes. This was 728. Because what, projectiles also counted? I guess it's not the character anymore. 6. I don't know. I probably messed this up. Hey, Fallen Great. Yeah, I'm not putting a lot of thought into this. I really should be. Hey, it's working. Okay, so yeah, it says you died. Now you just take damage infinitely. So can I kill them? Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So we have the basic hurting things and getting hurt. Everything looks, like I said, a little bit wonky. I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Fallen Great? Were you asking, do you keep your PC on idle 24/7? I have it asleep most of the time. Well, okay. I have 2 computers. The Windows machine is just for gaming. That's almost always off, like completely off. Except for when I'm gaming, of course. And then the Mac is what I'm streaming from. This is on in sleep mode most of the time. Yeah. So I rarely restart. Mac OS check uptime. How do you do this? Top left corner, hold option, hit system information. Is there a way to do this on the command line? All right, I'll just engage privacy mode. Let me try this. Hold option. Yeah, I think it's a good thing I did this off screen. Where's uptime in there? Click software in the left-hand side. Time since reboot is displayed in here. 18 days. Yeah. So this computer's been on for a while. Why is that? So this is a pretty low power machine to begin with. And I just would rather have it start up faster when I come back from sleep. But yeah, I mean, ideally, it like even low power is not 0 power. Ideally, I should just turn it off. It's just a matter of convenience. Wasn't there a Mac bug that'll brick a Mac for being on too long? I'm not sure. Yeah, there might have been. Okay, so what was I doing? I think I got all this stuff working, right? Add in getting hurt and hurting. Yep. All right, so let's go check this in. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy stats. I have an agent working on it at all times of day, so closing it down means no work getting done. Yeah, I don't have that going on at least. 3 months. Wow. By the way, does anyone have a Chromebook and plays Steam games on it? Because I have a Chromebook, and up until I want to say like 2 weeks ago, I was fine playing things like Slay the Spire. And then I tried yesterday, and it just said something like, "This won't work. Try again later." And I looked it up online, and it's apparently called Steam Beta for Chromebooks, and they said that it will conclude on January 1st, 2026. I know for sure I played it after January 1st on my Chromebook. So I don't know if they only just followed through on closing this down or what. Like, will I not be able to play Steam games anymore? And I don't know if anyone has the answer to that, but I am curious. So I figured I'd ask. All right, so yeah, all we have right now is took damage and you died. We need some actual animations at some point. I'm not going to do that yet. We changed the collision mask on the world itself. That's fine. This is also fine for now. This is good. Yep. Yep, don't see anything bad there. This is all good. This isn't needed. Bullets are still working just fine. Yeah, we initialize these. Invincibility. We should probably make the character flash or something. Entered hurt area. So we don't even use this anymore, right? Well, we do use it down here, but we don't use it here. Now, why is this blue? Can be made private. Oh, sure. Yep, looks good. Cool. And I didn't add any animations, did I? I did add the 10th monster, right? This thing, yeah. Anything else? The monster scene itself, monster.cs. Anything interesting here? No, not really. Playing death animation. We don't need those printouts. All right, I think we're good. Add monsters. They can hurt you and be killed. You die, but just by printing out that you're dead. Nice. All right, yeah, pretty neat. A little bit torn now on what I want to do exactly. I think if we're going to do very basic UI, what we could do here is we can render this as a label for now and make it pretty later. Should I even bother doing that? I probably should. Yeah. We can add a canvas layer and then add a label in here and just say health colon whatever. This is probably not going to even stay in the game, but I'll disable this for now. So this will be life label or health label. It'll probably eventually just be replaced with a meter. All right. Top down shooter. So let's get the life or health label. Good. Good. Yeah, player.health change. We need that. Now go add this in. Can it create it for me? No, it doesn't know. That's fine. Health changed. We pass in an integer. Probably need to pass in what their max life was too, right? Let's not worry about that for now. Let's just make this easy. All right, so if not was dead, just put this in here. Or rather, just if you're not dead at all. I should have done it this way. If life is greater than 0, minus equal. If now life is less than 0, then say that you're dead. No matter what, we do health change and invoke with your current life. Don't need this anymore. Don't need took damage. Don't need to print out if you're dead. To do handle death. Then over here, we just go update the label. There. And then replace this with life. Or like current life or something. I don't know, whatever. All right, let's go try that out. So this is going to print health colon at the beginning with no number afterward. And then once you take damage, it'll go down to 80. Because I forgot to do this at the beginning. Yeah. Great. So we should probably do this. Health label dot private void update health label. I guess it's just this. At which point it's the same change that we have. It's just not on health changed. So now we just need to get what their starting label or starting value is. Player dot life. And then go make this public. Encapsulate field. Cool. Cool. And good. All right, so now when you, whoop, I just popped the key off my keyboard. Now when you start the game, it should show 100 life at the beginning. Yeah. And then as you take damage, you'll see that drop. Yeah, great. All right, ammo. I don't know if we need ammo. Should the game have ammo? All right, let's go check this in. This is the simplest possible way to give you some feedback on your life. We'll eventually change it to a meter probably. Yeah, that looks fine. Oh, and then if we do keep this in, make sure to localize this. But I don't think we're going to keep it. Add health label. And I'll put this in polish. Wait, should I put it in polish? There's something else I wanted to, like make a proper life bar. It probably shouldn't tell you numerical values so that we can mask that you're getting more powerful. All right, so power-ups. What are you doing about power-ups? I've got the... I got to reopen this because it was using like 5 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, here we go. All right, I've got a bunch of different graphics over here. I do think using the potion sounds like a good enough idea. Like, we don't have anything else anyway, do we? We have books. I think those won't look like something you pick up, but potions will. So yeah, I think the potions would be good. We don't have anything else. Yeah, well, you could find them through these crates. Maybe you have to shoot the crates to open them. I feel like there should be a couple just kind of out in the open, though. Because you might not shoot the crates, and then you might not get any power-ups. Maybe what we do is we block you. So, like, imagine you had something like this. And this is kind of like the door area, and you start here. And then we put barrels here and here. So you have to destroy them to get out of whatever starting room you're in. And then you see that the barrels drop potions. So now you know barrels drop potions. And if you don't ever do that, you'll never get out of this room. So, I mean, you'll shoot the only thing you can actually shoot. That might be a good way of doing this. So consider starting the player in a room with barrels for doors. And the barrels drop potions. This would teach you... This would, like, force teach you about upgrades and destroying barrels. I must be meant to stay in this enclosed room. Yeah, I shall sit here for eternity. Yeah, I like that idea. I think we still need to figure out what's going on with the... Well, there's something else I need to figure out, which is what am I doing about these potions? We have only 5 colors in the sprite sheet to begin with, and 2 of them look pretty similar. So you have like red, blue, green, yellow, and let's say plum. And the upgrades that I wanted to have, close up every other tab that we have here. Upgrades that I wanted to have are these sorts of things. We had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could just get rid of luck, for example. Could be max life, power, defense, fire rate, regeneration. I don't think regeneration is a good idea because if you do want to tackle this game in one go, you'll tackle like one enemy at a time, maybe take some damage, and then like go run away for a bit. So it's like movement speed. And yeah, maybe this is the only stat with a cap on it so that you don't get out of control, like quite literally out of control. You know, you press right and you just slam your character all the way against the right side of the entire map. Fire rate sounds pretty decent. Yeah, power sounds decent. Defense and max life are pretty similar. I like defense being a stat because it's kind of hidden. Doomer Unreal Tournament style? In what way? The movement stuff? Glitchiness stat? Actually, I didn't think about that. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of luck being a stat. Yeah, I kind of like these being the stats. I think this is pretty cool. Or maybe instead of fire rate, we do just like gun upgrade. And one of them is fire rate. One could be more bullets. I don't know why a potion would upgrade your gun, but this doesn't need to make sense. Pickups, buffs. Yeah. There would be at least 5 pickups. We're not limited to 5. I could just make another color here. We could just copy paste this. Like that's, I always say those are changes even I can do. I can change a green to a purple or a pink or an orange or something. That'd be fine. And we could also just there could be just a green potion and it just gives you a random upgrade regardless of what the color is. But yeah, I want to think of what's the best thing here. Power, defense, fire rate, movement speed, and luck. Yeah, I think I like this. Yeah. So rejected ideas, regeneration. I don't want players to have to play hyper cautiously, which this might encourage. And max life, this would be too visible for the player. Yeah. So this is increased drop rate of upgrades. So you'll find them in barrels and stuff, but then you'll also find them from enemies. And the idea is that as your luck increases, you'll just find more and more and more upgrades, which will also increase your luck. And then maybe eventually every single enemy you kill will drop a potion. And maybe that's part of how this is broken. Like there's a generator with enemies coming out and you can just farm them for potions. And well, I got to be careful about that. Actually, that's a reason to not have generators. And if we're going to do movement speed would be pretty obvious as well in terms of a stat, right? Maybe we shouldn't have this. Yeah, I actually don't know about this one. Movement speed. This is also potentially too visible. Indeed. Well, I guess if movement speed is visible, fire rate's also going to be visible. We can't just have it be power, defense, and luck. Yeah, I think you should have some like fun and zany ones. Okay, so yeah, I like that. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to mess around with that too. Okay. So yeah, just the just the generator thing we got to figure out. If we do, can they just keep dropping upgrades forever? Wouldn't you just sit and farm them? I think that's the last thing I want to work on for today is just adding in some upgrades maybe. Like I don't want to fix these animations yet. Yeah. But we do need to like have the player actually die and allow restarting back in the beginning room. And then get the world set up somehow. There should be some progression or a boss or something. Yeah, so let's go add in power-ups. Add power-ups. What's the win condition for this game? Probably beating a boss. Yeah. And the boss would just be like practically impossible. Maybe the boss spawns monsters. Excuse me. Otherwise doesn't. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta figure some of this out. This is part of what I was saying earlier about the design of some of these sub games is I don't want to be too prescriptive with them so that once we get to the actual creation of it, I can just be like, you know what, this would be a good idea. And just follow my heart. Hey Kyle, hope it's okay to throw you a question, ask for advice. Recently I've been in the lull. Was wondering how you handle overcoming a tough period. Yeah, totally fine to ask. How do you bounce back from demotivation on a lot of recent failures, you know? So One, I'm kind of assuming here that the failures are related to the endeavor. So like, let's say I'm making a game and then I get into like a car accident or something. This isn't a failure, but like this would be tough to deal with, but not because it has to do with making a game. So I'm assuming they're failures from the making a game part or from software engineering stuff. Because otherwise my advice would probably be different. Like if it was, struggling with a car accident, it'd be like go to therapy or something. But I just want to add in these potion graphics and add in a new scene. So yeah, make a scene for upgrades. Add the potion sprite. Change it based on the type. Eventually, actually, yeah, for now, just use one. Yeah, correct. Okay. Yeah, so I think in general, there are a few things. One is a lot of this comes down to mindset. So for example, like focusing on failure rather than focusing on progress. And I think this is something that's tough. I made a video a while back about the learning curve of using Colmac, and I'll paste this into chat. This is not necessarily something worth watching, but my important learning that I had at the end of this was about learning itself. It's just time and practice. The summary of the video is I switched from QWERTY to Colmac, and it took me a really long time. And typing is something you kind of take for granted. It's like, let's say you stopped being able to speak the language that you speak, and now you have to communicate via sign language or writing or typing. It's something that you just had as part of you for however long. And if you lost it, you'd be like, man, I didn't realize how important that was to me. So yeah, typing is something I took for granted and then completely destroyed my typing speed by switching to Colmac. And yeah, one of the things I wondered about was like, uh-oh, am I just an idiot? Like, can I not learn things anymore? It kind of rattled me a little bit. And I realized at the end, no, it really just is time and practice. And like, I don't know, who cares if someone else can do it faster? And I wanted to start framing my learning that way. So this is part of the changing your mindset bit. Like, there will be difficult periods of time. There will be challenges. And if you think about your entire life leading up to this moment, you've pretty much solved every single problem minus n, where n is your current set of problems, which is probably changing over the course of time. So like your problems now, the n problems you have will probably not be the same n problems you have a year from now or 5 years from now, which means you'll overcome this current set of n problems too. That doesn't necessarily make it easier to solve them now. Just it lets you know that like you will find a path through this stuff. And I think there are other things you can do too of like, I don't know, talk to other people around you about what you're doing, what you're struggling with, and get their point of view on it. You might just be too harsh on yourself. There are certainly times when I felt like, oh man, I'm being lazy. And I look back at the last week and I'm like, wait a second. I've been working almost nonstop. I've been doing chores. I've been hanging out with people or like socializing or something where it's like, this isn't just me sitting around doing nothing. And then the times where I do sit around doing nothing, I'm like, well, it's because I did a lot before this. Yeah, I think mindset is probably the biggest thing. Now, if they are tangible failures, like let's say, I don't know, you invested X dollars into your game or something like that, and it only sold for like X divided by 1,000. This is a different kind of like, this is not just a mindset problem. Probably there's probably some like actual learning you should do or some like, I don't know, financial action you should take. So yeah, that's my broad advice, just knowing the vague problem. But if you have any more specifics, feel free to ask me. The answers almost always go to therapy. Yeah. And that is something I shouldn't have discounted this as like, well, if you get in a car accident, it might be different, but any sort of traumatic or negative experience could potentially benefit from going to therapy. We can always find edge cases. We can always find edge cases. All right, so make a scene for upgrades. Let's go do this. So make a new scene. This can just be I guess it's actually a static body, unless we want to drop them out of the crates, then they'd be rigid bodies. Well, I don't think it's very important either way right now. The important thing is just that a potion exists. And in that sense, it could just be a sprite 2D with a collision body on it somewhere, or an area. And when the player enters that, yeah, I think that's probably fine. Let's just do that for now. So let's do a sprite 2D and call this an upgrade and give it a texture, which is here. And now we got to find we got to find the actual potion sprite. I don't know how big it is. Just navigate to it over here. 256 and 1008. This is divisible by 16. It is. Wow. I exactly targeted the right coordinate. 256, 1008. So we should have a potion here. Yep. Okay, looks good. All right, now we add in an area 2D. The game is going to add these, right? So this does need a script at some point. Subgame, top-down shooter. I should probably favorite that directory. It's a source directory, though. How do you even favorite something? There. Oh, what? Did not mean to do that. To do that. And I guess kind of the same thing over here. Favorite this. Can you move this now? Yes, you can. Nice. Okay, great. So this is upgrade or upgrade potion, maybe. I guess just upgrade. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Who Cares? Thanks for the resub. Happy 19 months. What happened to the resub sound? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not hearing it myself, and I know if it's just me. Let's go to my own channel. Let's just do this. Huh, that's strange. Stop playing anything. Oh, this is muted. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Yeah, so it's playing stuff. I don't know about the sub sounds. Yeah. Touched on almost perfectly. I was in the mentality, I've been doing this for a while. I should be good at it. Why am I struggling? That's where the demotivation kicked in. Yeah. I think so much of this, if you think about it at its core, it's a mismatch of expectations. It's like reality is one thing and you expect a different thing. And in this case, its reality is like, I don't know, you're taking X weeks or months or whatever it is, and you expected it to be, let's say, days or weeks. And I think time mismatch is probably a pretty common one here. I remember when I started in my last corporate job, I had some idea in my head. I don't know where I got this idea, but I'm like, I'm going to be better than the other engineers here and do things faster or sooner. This caused immense stress for myself for almost no reason. I just got this idea in my head, and then this became my expectation. And reality was like, look, there are other smart engineers here, and this takes an average amount of time, or the average amount of time for that reason. Like a bunch of other smart people have gone through this, and it's just a data thing. And yeah, when I finally toned this down, and I'm like, all right, fine, let me just take things at the pace it actually should go at. That was it. That's kind of all it took. I wasn't stressed for this reason anymore. I mean, there was still like normal work stress. Hey Swiss, new here, what's going on? I'm working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And yeah, and we're working on a top-down shooter version of a game in here. And I was just about to add in an upgrade potion that you can get, which let me save this. I haven't done very much yet on this. Never thought these are the end problems I'm dealing with right now. It's such an enlightening way of thinking about it. Yeah, the thought of you've solved every other problem in your life already, I think is particularly enlightening. Because if you've ever seen me draw, hang on one sec. Let me save this before I forget. If you've ever seen me draw this graph, oops, of time and like, let's say stress or happiness or something, it pretty much works out to be almost like a sine wave. And at least if you're relating this to any endeavor that you're doing, like let's say this is game dev for you, game dev happiness over time, or like struggles over time or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And just cross this out. But when you're in one of these peaks and everything's going great, it's generally like you just started the game, or you're working on a fun part, or somebody just played it and they really liked it. And then here is when you are stuck on some technical problem, your game is crashing, the engine doesn't work, you, whatever, any of the other problems that can happen. I've had it happen so many times where I'm in one of these local troughs that's here, And I just think, that's it. That's the end of it. There's no solution. I'll never solve this. I'll never get out of this. And it's not until you zoom out and realize like this sine wave is pretty much going on for your entire life, and that whatever local trough you're in is not the first and not the last, and that this also continued going back in this direction too, although I can't draw going left apparently. That then you just realize like, look, time is going to eventually fix this. You will eventually fix this. You'll find some workaround. You'll do something. And that's why I say so much of this comes down to mentality. I'll just stick with it. And on the flip side, I think there are endeavors you should stop. Like I said, even this idea that I had over here of, hey, I'm going to be the best at this. Like, this was just a mistake. So it's recognizing when something is truly a mistake versus, hey, this is just a speed bump. Now I do just enough to keep my sanity and management. Yeah. Yeah. I don't run away from the problems earlier in my life. I mean, if that is how you solve them, then they're at least not your current problems anymore. But then running away is probably one of your end problems that you have. All right, so for this, we need to get the area 2D here. This is gonna need to collide with the player. Yeah. So let's go get that. Private area. Wait, we don't need to save this off. I can just do this in the ready function. Area 2D, area equals get node. Okay. And then on body entered. Cool. And if body is player. Actually, in this case, I don't know how exactly I want to do this. First of all, it's top-down shooter player. I think I want to emit like a collected event, public event action collected. And this would need to tell it its type. So I guess we just pass in the upgrade. So now invoke that. Now we need some kind of like upgrade node. Let's go do this. Add node 2D. Upgrade node. I'll put this here. And private node 2D upgrade node. This is just a node 2D. Yeah. And then I want to add in some upgrades here just to make sure that this works. We probably want to like spawn some floating text or something. Also, hey, Corpsey, I don't think I said hi to you. Sorry about that. All right, so we have an upgrade somewhere. Let's put this here, I guess. And let's make another one upgrade and put it over here. Okay, great. So you should collide with upgrades. And I guess it could be your whole player sprite, like this collision shape. Although it's got to be a body, and that means that the character body needs, yeah, it's collision shape. Okay, it's fine. Let's change this. And we'll set this to, I think it should already be fine. I'm not sure. I just thought you were being rude. That's me. Always rude to Windy viewers. All right, so for each upgrade in this node, get children of type upgrade. All right, so when you collect it, we're gonna do like on upgrade collected, and then go initialize this thing. All right, we're gonna eventually need a type here. We don't have that. Let's just queue free the upgrade. And I don't know, increase your life or something. I don't have a better idea for right now. So life. Wait, no. What are the upgrades we actually want? Because I should code them all at some point. Where are they? These. All right. Add power-ups. Make all of these work. And spawn floating text when you get an upgrade saying what it was. Hey, Magnus. Grab a bacon-flavored wheat crunchies crisps to make up for the ignorance. That'll show me. That'll definitely show me. All right, we're gonna make this public for now. So player.life plus equal 20 and update health label player.life. Actually, we could have just always, this doesn't even need to take an argument. All right, so we're going to walk into a potion and see our life go up to 120. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I don't know. That was easy. Yeah, the animations are a little bit busted on these enemies for right now. We'll do something about that later, though. Okay, so now we want to delete this to do actually grant an upgrade. All right, so we go. Whoop, that's a problem. All right, we go change life to be back to private here, and that's that. So yeah, we have the basic upgrade system. Doesn't do anything yet. Let's go add this into the game anyway. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah. So now we just got to make sure that this is actually being used already. Or else we got to find it. What is it even called? It's in the dungeon one. All something. All sprite sheet. No, this was not being used. So why can't I see this in here? Oh, did I check? Did I check everything in? I did not mean to do that. If I did, let's go into that directory. Get, I don't even know how to check this. Get status, all sprite sheet. How do you, I don't think I've ever done this. Git check if file is tracked. Yeah. Get ls files. All sprite sheet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dungeon doesn't show anything. If I just do ls files. Okay, I'm pretty sure I didn't mean to do this, but maybe I did and I was just searching incorrectly. Yeah, I was just searching incorrectly. Why didn't this find this? Oh, because it's only searching solution files. And what's not considered a solution file? The TRES file. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I was gonna say I'm nearly positive I would use it. All right, so then we're fine to check in right now. So add upgrade potions. There, these do nothing. Yeah, there we go. All right, so make a scene, done with that. Add the potion sprite, make all these work. So I want to make them like actually work. So first, I think we need to differentiate between upgrade types. So like manifest upgrade types for each potion. And they can probably be static boosts that you get, such that when a floating text thing pops up, it can just say something like plus power, plus defense, plus fire rate. It doesn't need to tell you something like, so like this is what we use, not plus 5 power or something like that. Yeah, I think that's cleaner. The fewer numbers we can show, the better. So at some point we need to figure out how luck works. It's probably just a number from 1 to 100. Or 0 to 100. Yeah. Probably just a number from 0 to 100. We call percent chance when killing an enemy. And if it is, yeah. And if it hits, we drop an item for you. We could make it drop several items for you. And then we also probably need to When an enemy drops an item, we probably don't want you to be able to collect it immediately. Or maybe we want to animate it flying to you, so that it's obvious what happened. Yeah. All right, so manifest upgrade types for each potion. Let's go figure out how we want to do that. Right now, we just have a single sprite for upgrade, but we control which potion we're using based on the region. So we can just change the region of the atlas texture that we have here, and it shouldn't modify all of them at once. If I say that this has editable children, and we go change this to be, oh, we can't change that. We'd have to make it local. Oh, neat. I don't think I knew about this. So if I do that, do both of the potions turn blue? Looks like they did. Yep. Okay, so we'll have to make that local to the scene. So upgrade, save, atlas, resource, local to the scene. Or, I don't know, let's just try this in code. So here's what I'll do. I'll go make a bunch of potions. We will instantiate in another upgrade, another upgrade. All right. So now the odds of it picking the same one are very slim. Oh, and two of them are on top of each other, right? Yeah. All right, so there are all the potions. Now I want to change this to pick a random potion graphic. Private void pick random potion graphic. So I need to get the sprite, which is just here, which is an atlas texture. Do we ever have code that fetches this? Actually, only want to search in code. Here we go. Background.texture. So just like that. All right, so size is always going to be 1616. New 1616. And the position is going to change between a bunch of different ones. So we have 4 in a row here, and then 1 is down here. 50 streams. Congratulations. And thanks. Oh, what? Why is this off by like a couple of pixels? What did I do? I didn't mean to make this. Oh, no. Oh, come on. We're going to have to revert this. There. 256, 1008. Okay, so how about this? Let's just make a bunch of vector 2s for right now. List vector 2 positions. I'm going to need to change all this eventually anyway, but yeah, for now, let's do this. So new 256, 1008, then 288, 1008, then 320, 1008, and 352, 1008, and then 320, comma, 1040? I don't know. Variable positions never used. Yep, let's go do that. So now we just take a random element. What? Enumerable random yarn saliency. Where is this? JetBrains. Okay. I thought I added list extension somewhere. I apparently did not. I didn't. Huh, strange. Okay. I guess we're adding this in now. Get random element. Get random element or default. Yeah. I don't want to do this right now. Yeah, let's just write this in cleanup. So add in list extensions from Skeleseller. Yeah, I'll do this the cheapo way. Random index equals. Wait, do I even have my. Hold on a second. Don't we have a random extensions? Double range, float range. Do I have those in here? I do. I think there's a math function for this, like math.next single, random.shared.next single. That's a float. How do you get an int? Next. What's next? All right, and then what does this do? turns a non-negative random integer. And here we go, max value, exclusive upper bound. Yeah, so we just do next positions dot length. Or count, yeah, sure. Java. All right, positions, random index. Great. We did it. And now we just need to change these. Crazy library name. Where is it even coming from? All right, so this did not work because I never actually called the function. There wasn't enough. Well, you're going to have to get some more snacks to make up for my ignorance. Yeah, so it is changing all of them at once. So we need this to be, I think, a local resource. I'm going to try one more time. Yeah. We need it to be a local resource. So I think we just click this button and we're done. And now we should see multiple colors of potions on the ground. Yeah, nice. We should probably Y sort those as well. Can I use your ignorance as an excuse to make snacks too? Is this like a global thing? Oh yeah, it's definitely a global thing. In fact, Corpsey makes all the rules. So if you want, just ask Corpsey, like, hey, how else can I justify any bad behavior? All right, so make Y sorting work. This would be especially good for potions. It may matter for monsters. Make monsters stop wiggling when they get to you. They should... Well, I don't know what they should do. It is allowed. Yay. Okay, so we randomize this, but I don't know if we tried all the colors. We need to see that plum colored one because I might have picked the wrong coordinates. Yeah, that's the wrong coordinate. That's what I was worried about. So where is it supposed to be? 320, 1024. Oh, I went down too far. I thought it was off by 2 rows. 1024. Problem solved. Qualifies for me for baking a cake. Yes, but you must share pictures of the cake. All right, look at that. We got our potions now. So yeah, now we have different potion colors. Let's go manifest some other things. I don't want to be streaming for too much longer. It's been 3 hours and 13 minutes already. So I kind of want to just code some of this and then I'll probably just stop in the middle of it. So let's go make a new class for potion types. Enumeration. Upgrade type. Upgrade type. Sure. All right, and what are our types that we have? These. So none equals 0. Power, defense, fire rate, movement speed, and luck. Okay. Now, each upgrade should know its own type. Public, private. Don't need to set it to none. So it is pick random potion, or pick, why does it even type potion? Pick random upgrade type, or maybe just init? Yeah, that's fine. And jam. All right, let me snooze the ad that's about to play. All right, so the graphic we're going to set based on the type. So at some point we need like some potion data class, I guess. I'll probably just use the switch. All right, so how do we do this? Make a list of upgrade types. Upgrade types equals enum functions. Get valid values. Okay. All right, that looks good. Now we do this. We say vector2. Oh, wow. This doesn't really work though, because we need to change the Y value as well. Yeah. I mean, it was close. Yeah, let's change all this. New. And this one is 1024. Then we delete this and that. Cannot convert initializer type int to target type Godot vector 2. Oh, because of this. That should just throw an exception or something, probably. All right, nice. I think. Yeah, in fact, let's just say throw not implemented. Isn't this like invalid or some argument exception? Argument out of range exception? I don't know. See if I qualify for an upgrade. Contact my phone company and ask if I can bake a cake. I'll be like, has Adam done anything bad lately? I'll say, when hasn't he? And then you'll both laugh, throw your heads back in jovial laughter. Ah, that moron. That ignoramus. So I don't, maybe this is working. I'm actually not sure. Let's go assign colors to each type. So this will be fun. We have these stats and we have these colors. So I think power can be red. Defense can be blue. Fire rate, movement speed, and luck. Fire rate should be the plum one, probably. Luck can be yellow. And movement speed can be green. Yeah, let's go do that. And then in order in the sprite sheet, it's red, blue, green, yellow, plum. So that means it's going to be power, defense, movement, luck, fire, or rate. Instead of yellow, it's yellow. This is the Magnus color. All right, so we just got to set them up this way. So power, defense, then movement speed should be next. Then luck, then fire rate. All right, now all we have to do is when you actually collect this, we print out which one you collected. You collected upgrade type. So then based on the color, we should see this print out the correct thing. So let's go try it. So we're going to grab the red one. That should say power. Yep. Then yellow is luck. Yep. Then blue is defense. And then this looks kind of like power in a vacuum because you can't really tell that it's not red, I guess. But that one is fire rate. Yeah. So the only one we didn't test is movement speed. And we've got a pretty good chance of it showing. It's got to be the green one. There it is. Yeah, nice. Okay. So they don't actually do anything yet, but yeah, not too shabby. Now, should we change the plum color one to something a little bit more obviously different from the red? It doesn't really matter. Power and fire rate kind of mean the same thing. Look at me just glossing over everything. All right, so manifest types, add in list extensions from Skeleseller to make getting a random element easier. Put this in cleanup. And then actually make them work. I think that's probably going to be it. I can snooze and add one more time. Hey, Chris. It's going pretty well. Holding on the bottle weighs you down to a net zero difference. Then at the end of the game, you throw out all the bottles and you move faster than Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know. We could code like one of these. Yeah, let's code one really fast. Then that's it. I really should get going. All right, so power stat. Top-down shooter player. So your player should probably have the stats in them, right? When you fire a bullet, we just say created bullet, but it doesn't know its own damage value. So public int damage or power get set. So by default is, let's say, 20. It doesn't really matter what we set this to. Made you run faster because it was heavy. Oh yeah, that's true. We've already done this. All right, so created bullet right there. Bullet dot power equals power. Public int power get set equals 20. Yeah, great. Which means I guess the bullet doesn't really need a built-in one. So now when a bullet hits an enemy, we do life minus equal 20, which is here. We need to know the power in there. Damage. All right, there we go. So now when you collect the power potion, it should raise your power. So in top-down shooter, we have collected upgrade. And yeah, actually grant the upgrade. So switch upgrade type. Nice. Now the way we'll test this for real, though, is we'll just make it do plus 100 power. So that way you kill an enemy in one hit. So as long as there's a red potion on the ground, we should have just made it so you can upgrade your power. So here's what we're going to try. We are first going to shoot an enemy without that. Are any of those red? I don't think they are. Okay, well, that doesn't work. Probably should just guarantee that they are red, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep running this until we find a red one. There we go. It's at the upper right there. Okay, so we shoot this enemy. It's going to take 5 hits to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we grab this red potion, and now this should take 1 shot. Oh, yeah. Neat. All right, yeah. Basic power-ups in place. So we're getting there. Let's go fill out ye old journal. Come on. Okay, so added a bunch of mechanics. There are now monsters, bullets, and upgrades. Yeah, not everything is working yet. Hey, Goose. All right, well, I think this is pretty good. We got a lot of stuff done. I guess where I left off is I have to check this in. I'm torn. So, yeah, I only planned on streaming in the morning. I have several things I want to do. I want to make my presentation materials for a YouTube video. Then I want to make the YouTube video. This is going to be on localization. I want to flesh out this game, and I want to test out colorizing sprites in the game so that the player can choose their own colors. This is going to add a lot of overhead for art, I think, because we need to make masks for everything. Hey, Mamba, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, it's been 1.5 years. I am just wrapping up. I will let you know. So yeah, I'm not totally sure what I want to do yet, but I think I'm just going to spend the afternoon working on some random stuff. Maybe this. This does feel a little bit tedious to work through the foundations of a new sub game here. There's just a lot of stuff that's common across games that's not really fun. Like getting sound effects to work and getting animations to look correct, and yeah. But yeah, this is looking more like a game at least. So I'll keep working through this stuff. So yeah, by the end of tomorrow, I want it to resemble even more of the game. So all the upgrades should be in. Hopefully we fix some of these animations and stuff. And we got the gameplay loop. And then Thursday we'll work on music, I think. So yeah, I'll play it by ear. Anyway, let's go find someone to raid. Thank you all for watching. Long time. I was in your neck of the woods a couple times last year. DC. Oh, I'm in the other Washington. I'm in northwestern US. Yeah. What time do you stream? So let me see if I have this up to date. It's not really up to date. I'll change this. Ecom schedule. General schedule is this from like 8:30 to 12. Or maybe like 11:30. Yeah, this is not a thing anymore. All right, let's just do that. Yeah, so this is my, like, tomorrow should be a full day unless I go crazy. So this time right now is roughly lunchtime. So I'd probably be stopping tomorrow too, but then I'd come back in like an hour. So yeah. But yeah, love to hear more about how you're doing. I guess an ad already started, so I'm not really in a rush, but I still want to get going for now. All right, let me go find someone to raid. Let's raid someone. Should I raid someone new? Oh, I don't think have I raided Aaron before? I'm not sure. I'm gonna go raid Aaron. All right, thank you all for being here. There are some Discord links if you want them. I'll be back tomorrow. It'll be more game dev. We'll keep working through the top-down shooter, and yeah, hopefully have more of a game. So cheers, everyone. See you next time. Goodbye. Have a great rest of your day, etc.